Hi BookTube! I'm here today with a review of The White Forest by McOmber. I unfortunately don't have the book here because I've already shelved it at my dad's house. So I'm just going to talk about it. So basic summary, it's a historical fantasy. There's three kind of main characters. You follow Jane, but we also get to know her friends Maddie and Nathan. And they're friends in the 19th century of England, but they aren't really quite just normal. So Jane has this power that allows her to see the souls of objects. Nathan is obsessed with Jane's powers, and he eventually ends up joining a cult to learn more about this kind of fantastical thing. Maddie is in love with Nathan. Jane is in love with Nathan. Then Nathan goes missing, and Jane and Maddie kind of begin searching for him. That's basic plot. So my thoughts on it, again, I'll count on plot, character, philosophy, and the writing style. As for the plot, I thought it was really cool. It's like a non-linear plot line. There's a lot of flashbacks. And I really enjoyed that they, the story was kind of revealed slowly instead of, all at once. It's kind of organically developed. I kind of likened it to like you're a detective hearing the story, and you have to keep tracing back, like, okay, I know this, but what about this part of the story? Can you go back and explain that? I thought it was really quite interesting. So the flashbacks, even sometimes they weren't just like info dumps. They were a part of the plot. They asked more questions sometimes than they revealed the answers to. And I thought it was actually a very original story, especially with the way it developed eventually. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's a lot of interesting, convolutions and everything, and it's kind of like a slow, but it's a very satisfying reveal. As in regards to the characters, I saw a lot on Goodreads that people were complaining that these characters weren't likable, and that's a real, bone of contention with me, because why do you have to like the characters? Yeah, they have flaws. Yes, they're human. They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna have bad thoughts. They're gonna do stupid things. So I found the characters were, believable. They were well constructed. I had no complaints about whether they were likable or not. Yeah, I didn't really like any of them, but oh well. The philosophy is quite interesting, because it presents this idea that objects have souls, not in the fact that it will like a human soul or that you'll have empathy for it, but that it's more like of a synesthesia experience for Jane. So for example, I'll just pick up an object, man-made object, a book. A big, huge book. Why did I have to pick this one? So being around it, and especially with touching it, she'd experienced this synesthesia where it would emit colors and sounds and maybe even evoke memories and such. I'm going to set the book down now because I don't have that power or the strength. So that was really quite interesting to think of man-made objects as having something more than just a purpose, as having some other element to them that we can't see. I also really like that it explored the idea of cults and cult leaders, and how they attract people into their beliefs and how they hold them there, and what the cult leaders are trying to do and such. So it was really quite a good exploration of that. As for the writing, this is a big question I have. As I was reading it, I thought it was a YA novel. It had young adult characters that were around the age of 18. There were the tropes there of the young girl finding out she has some power that separates her from other people. There was the love triangle going on. So there was those kind of like YA tropes, and it was YA characters. But everywhere I looked, it said it was adult fiction, and I was like, okay. So I was thinking, like, what kind of separates YA from adult fiction? I mean, it was quite more well written than a lot of other YAs, especially ones that use those kind of tropes as well. So maybe it's like the writing that separates YA from adult fiction. I don't know. So that's the question I kind of wanted to ask you, is like, what separates YA from adult fiction? Is there like a line, a divide there, or is it up to the reader to decide, or the writer to decide, the editor, the publisher? I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was YA, but apparently it's not. So let me know. So that's my very kind of quick review of The White Forest. Let me know if you've read it and what you thought about it, and whether you thought it was YA, because I think it is. And thank you for watching.